Shante. Welcome to our channel. Hope you guys are doing well. Hope you guys have been surviving
Shante.
the week thus far.
Yeah,
And happy
I hope
Friday
it's
to everyone.
been a decent week. And today we're going to be talking about, actually, we're going to be reacting to a video that Prati chose. So, Prati, would you like
I
to
didn't want to show
mention
the video
more
though
about
because
this?
it's like 30 minutes long, but I will leave the video in the link, video's link in the description below. It's a lot of you might have already come across it because it's pretty famous. It's this thing called cinema therapy where two therapists sit and break down the various different romantic relationships that are portrayed in various films, and they talk about how healthy or unhealthy relationship is actually rather than how it's portrayed. Because as we see the movies, we always see such grandeurs and stuff like that of how love is expressed, but in real life it's not like that. They sell this very unrealistic idea in movies. So what these therapists do is they talk about what's good and what's bad in each relationship. So the video I chose, in that video they're ranking five different Disney movies based on how toxic and how healthy the relationship is, going from the worst to best. So Shabini, what I'm going to do is I'm going
Okay.
to tell you the movies. You can try to guess which is the worst and which is the best. You can try to you rank it yourself, and then I will tell you what the experts have said as well, and you can tell me what you think about that. So the movies are
Okay.
Snow White, and then Rapunzel, and then
Okay.
Cinderella, Lion King,
Okay.
and
What?
Lion King, the first one with Simba and Nala,
Okay.
and then Wreck-It Ralph.
But Wreck-It doesn't really have a romantic side to it
There's
much.
the romantic side between Fix-It Felix and that Robocop woman.
Okay. But it's not that much compared to like all the others you mentioned. Even Lion King, it's not like a romance type thing much. It's more like family though. So like the most toxic I would say is um Snow White. Actually, no. Yeah, I think Snow White because of the whole sleeping spell and everything. Then it has to be, I would say, Cinderella because of all the like things that happened where the prince forgot who the real Cinderella is and that whole storyline. Then I would say probably Rapunzel. Although I don't remember the storyline of Rapunzel much. Then I think I'd
Tangled.
say Tangled.
So he basically talks about
Uh
Tangled. Yeah.
okay. Because there's a cartoon. There's like the other Rapunzel version,
Yeah,
if
but
you
he
remember
talks
where
about
the
that more.
cartoon is.
It's basically Rapunzel. That was the first thing that came to my mind. So I just said it. I'm so sorry. But yeah, he was talking about Tangled.
Okay, Tangle. That's a different storyline from Rapunzel. Because I didn't even remember Rapunzel that much.
Mm.
Um, I think second would be Lion King, then Wreck-It Ralph.
Okay, the second line thing and then Wreck-It Ralph. Okay. And also Aladdin is in the mix. I forgot to mention that. Oh my God, I'm doing so badly. It's like something hit my head.
Okay,
Okay.
then Aladdin would be because there's so many installments. I think it would be number it would be like after Cinderella, then like Aladdin, Rapunzel, Tangled, Lion King, and Wreck-It Ralph.
Okay. You actually kind of got it correct, but I'll tell you what explanation they gave for each. So I'll also tell you about Beauty and the Beast because it was a separate video. It wasn't a part of this video, but he also dissects that. So basically, Beauty and the Beast, the problem is it's Stockholm syndrome, right? She got kidnapped by him in the sense that she was trapped in that relationship, and then she ended up liking him because of Stockholm syndrome, is what he says. And then when it comes to Snow White and Cinderella, Snow White, he says it's just hormones, all right? She just had a crush, basically, and they don't even talk. They just sang once to each other and not even properly because she kept running away, shying away. And then one fine day she drops dead, and then he goes and kisses her, and then she wakes up. So that is the most toxic one to start off with because it was just a crush. And similar story when it comes to Cinderella, that's the next toxic one because he was like, this is the woman I'm going to marry. And then he's like, okay, so what does she look like again? And then he takes a shoe and tries to. Have you ever had this question about Cinderella? Zoa? It was like, that fairy godmother person, she comes around and then she does that tippity woppity boot thing. And then all these things come and they're supposed to vanish at midnight, right? And all her clothes and everything changes back to normal. How come that shoe didn't vanish? It should have also vanished.
Yeah, that's true. But at the end of the day, it's a cartoon. It's not
I know,
real.
but there should be a logic in the storyline. So that is the next one. It was like it wasn't a thought out decision, and they didn't really go out with each other, and they didn't really build a connection there. And so it was again just hormones, and each of them reacting to their hormones. Basically, that's all there is to it. The next one is Aladdin, and in Aladdin there was some reason, more there were more reasons that he gave to why it's toxic because it's like he was insecure about himself and he lied to her. And that's how the relationship began with a lot of lies. But the good thing about it, unlike Snow White and Aladdin, I mean, sorry, Snow White and Cinderella, is that there was some good thing there because he owned it up in the end. And he did show that he had integrity because he gave up the last wish to Genie. So that, and then that kind of won her back in a way because he did have integrity. But then he says this is something that does happen sometimes in real life as well because people tend to initially try to be this version of a person that they want to be, but they haven't gotten there yet. And they put up that image to the person initially because they're insecure about who they are. And that's not always a good thing because the relationship is toxic, is what he says from Aladdin, then extrapolating it to real life. What was the other movie? Tangled. Tangled, he says, is much, it's like it's similar to Aladdin because he lies, but it's slightly better because he owns up his lie very quickly, even before he started seeing her as a romantic partner. Like he owns up the lie when he realizes, he's lied and she's being very decent and genuine. And then he's kind of feeling guilty about it and he's changed because he's not somebody who lies a lot or something like that. So that is a good thing. But the unhealthy thing in that is he changes his entire life trajectory for her. He goes around letting go of his goals of, taking that crown and going and making money somewhere else because he had no life. And this was the direction he was headed at. But he changed everything for her, being inspired by her. So this he talks about as influence, but not in a good way. But he comes to that and then after he goes to the next movie. But he says that you have to value your partner's needs, put it in front of your needs, but not instead of your needs. And he says that's what he has done there. He's like literally let go of all his needs and completely changed for her to go and take her to the lights. So that was not healthy. The next thing is the Lion King, Simba and Nala. That he says is healthy because they have a positive influence on each other. Not each other, but Nala has a positive influence on Simba when she confronts him and tells him that he has to come back. You know, that scene where they kind of argue. He kind of splits that scene section by section and talks about how she's confronting and trying to solve the issue. So that's where conflict resolution comes in. And he is kind of withdrawing but then trying to communicate as well, but withdrawing and communicating as well. And finally, he runs away. And then he has this aha moment where his, father tells him to like go and be himself and stuff like that. And then he changes. But end of the day, he says that her influence changed him. Like he accepted it. He accepted that he was in a place where, somebody had to intervene. Because even in like friendships, sometimes you have some people just going down the wrong path and we have to like tell them something is wrong and then they realize it and change. But sometimes they don't. But because he changed, he says it's a healthy relationship and they could kind of grow with each other and try to solve problems as a team. So that's the second movie that he says is the healthiest while he arranges it from 5 to 1. And the first movie, unfortunately, is Fix It Felix, Wreck It Ralph. I don't even get that. I don't agree with whatever he said about it. He says it's because Fixer Felix is like the sweet, innocent guy who doesn't know what he's doing. And then that woman is like this strategic uh, war leader person who goes and like conquers people, conquers other bad guys for her good team. And she's like bold and strong and outspoken. And then he says that they ended up growing into each other a little bit and having a good influence on each other, where she softens a bit and he toughens up a bit. I didn't see all that in Wreck-It Ralph. I just saw that it was such a dumb relationship. So I didn't see it, but that's the therapist's opinion. So if you ask my ranking, I would say Lion King goes first, Tangled goes second, and then Aladdin, and then the two goofy movies about Cinderella and Snow White, and then I would put Wreck-It Ralph. So that's how I would rate it.
That's
So
the
these were the
most
things.
toxic.
And what do you think about the explanations? Which one did you find more relatable to real life than just a movie?
Yeah, I think the Lion King explanation was pretty relatable. And also, I don't know if this is actually true or not, but the if that is the case, the Wreck-It Ralph explanation does make sense. But
Mhm.
I don't remember again the whole storyline and how much
Yeah, I can't see
Felix
all that in
and.
Wreck-It Ralph because the story was focused more on Ralph and that kid, right? So it
But
didn't even register to me that there was a romance.
I do remember like he becomes like more brave um at one point in the movie compared to
No,
the way he was before. It
I
was
mean, does he
there
go
like
and
when there was a
confront? I mean, he
bunch
goes
of.
and helps Ralph in the end. Is that why that is, or
Yeah,
does
but
it come?
like he was really scared, but then somehow he just manages to gather the courage and to be brave and like go help him. Whereas I think if he hadn't like met her and stuff, um maybe he tried to like, help him just to show like the warrior cartoon that he's actually brave, just to impress her. But I and she doesn't become a softie, but she doesn't like completely go crazy and be like hardcore throughout. She just she does change a bit, like a little. But yeah, I think his ratings are okay. And then I would say like he's taking the Cinderella movie too seriously because we all know it's a cartoon. It's just there to like
He was just
please
mocking it,
kids.
and he was trying to extrapolate it to real life. But like you say, it's a far reach because it's an animated movie
Yeah,
and
I
it's
mean
about
everyone knows
fairy.
it's a cartoon. Even kids after a certain age know that this is a cartoon. Nothing like
But
that is
certain
ever
things
gonna
stay
happen
with
in real
them
life.
subconsciously, things that you grew up watching and believing as romance somewhere sticks to you, I guess. But it
I
doesn't
think there's a lot of
not
us,
that much. We do
especially when
understand it
we
as we grow.
I'm sure there's a lot of us when we reach our teenage years, we realize like you're not gonna find the one you marry you like just randomly like that. You had to go through a
Well,
ton of
that
like
reminds me of
problems
something. There was
and
one thing
like
unhealthy
breakups.
that he pointed out in Lion King as well. He said that Nala went ahead. I mean, it's a good thing that they were also childhood friends. They knew each other for a long time. All these things were the positives. But one thing that was negative was Nala was going by the fact that she saw potential in Simba, like he could become like his dad and stuff like that. And then he was like, in real life, you can't build a relationship based on the potential you see because that person may not become that person. So if you don't like the person for who they are, I mean, if you like them for who they are and then you see that they can be even better and you can help them grow into that person, that is okay. But if he says that if you
To
want to
be
go change
honest,
somebody, that's not going to happen.
what I think influences people's thinking on like romance and relationships is not cartoons. It's more of like the other movies that we see on like Netflix and stuff, which are like storylines that include actually like
Real
real
life stuff.
people.
He does
Yeah, like
dissect
if
those
you
as
take
well.
if
Maybe we can do the next video on it and
because
let's
like
see
if
how
you
that.
take the kissing booth or something like that, those type of movies would actually influence your thinking on love. And if you take like any of the other like Turkish movies or something, there's epic romance stories that you see. Those are the things that
It's something as
actually
dumb as
influence
Twilight,
people's.
it's romance end of the day. And some people
I mean,
might
no,
go by
like
having
you know, there's
fantasies with.
like there's TV series that don't include supernatural things, but are like called things like that could happen. It's like more realistic compared to like
Like
vampires and
P.S. I
stuff
love
because you
you
know that
and
doesn't
things
make
like that. It's not supernatural,
yeah
but it's like super
yeah yeah
foo
yeah
romantic.
so
But yeah,
something like that, or like there's countless Hollywood movies where the popular guy falls for the geeky girl and they live happily ever after. In the real world, we all know that it's the popular guy and the popular girl in any American high school or British or any European high school.
yeah, but
The
that's in
popular
like
guy
school and high
barely
school
goes.
movies, right? But I'm talking about the more adult ones as well. But everything sells like
Yeah,
an overrated idea, is what it is. But then, yeah, let's maybe after this episode, if you guys like it, we will try and share our opinions about other cinema therapy episodes where he talks about non-animated movies, like movies where there's like rom-coms and stuff like that, and then we'll share our
yeah,
opinion based on that as well. Thank you so much for following our channel thus far. Hope you guys have a lovely weekend going forward, and hope you guys are all staying safe and taking care of yourselves. I did hear COVID is speaking in at certain parts of India, so if you guys are watching us from India, please do stay safe and take
yeah.
care. Be kind to one another. Bye.
Bye.